Hello, my name is Christoph Schumann, and I'm one of the co-founders and chairman of LAION. And LAION is a non-profit organization registered in Germany, in Hamburg. But like originally, we were just like a group of people meeting on a Discord server. And Too Long Didn't Read is basically we tried together as a grassroots community to provide large-scale AI to everyone who's interested. So we don't have like a big company. We are not a unicorn or whatever. We are just really a really tiny non-profit, but we have like a huge community of all kinds of people, from high school students to PhDs, professors, whatever, like entrepreneurs, all kinds of people coming together on Discord mainly and trying to build large-scale data sets for multimodal learning. So like for something like DALL-E or Stable Diffusion recently came out that was trained on our data. And we also replicated the OpenAI clip results, and we will pretty soon, like now at the 9th of September, like so in a few days from now, release open clip models. Like for those who don't know what this is, it's basically a machine learning model that can perform zero-shot classification and check how well an image and a text fit together. And it's really powerful because like it can basically take whatever is an image, like the semantic idea, and condense it into a list of numbers. It's called an embedding. And you can also take a text, like the idea, what the text is about, in like the idea space, and condense it also into a list of numbers with the same dimensionality. And then you can check how similar are these lists of numbers, these embeddings, the text and the image embedding. And if they are like very similar, this means that also the content is really similar. So, I mean, if you want to know if there is a corgi with a party hat in the picture and you have not trained in advance your classifier, you can just like write down a corgi dog with a party hat and calculate the clip embedding, like the list of numbers. And you also take an image where you want to know whether there is maybe a corgi in it with a party hat. And then you can like also get this embedding and compare these lists of numbers. And if it's pretty similar, you can be pretty confident that you actually have a corgi with a party hat without having in advance trained a classifier for this. So these clip models are really cool. They had been introduced by OpenAI originally. And they released like the more basic clip models, but the really cool clip model that they used for DALL-E 2, they didn't release yet. And yeah, we are just about to release a really big clip called clip H and another clip G, H for huge and G for gigantic. And they will be like, I'm pretty confident, on par with OpenAI's unreleased clip model. And this is just an example of what we're doing. Like we also have like these data sets like LAION 400M and LAION 5B and LAION Aesthetics. And LAION 5B, so far as I know, and I'm very confident, is the biggest openly available image text pair data set. So there are probably bigger open image text pair data sets, and not open, but proprietary by Google and Microsoft. But actually, even Google and Microsoft and Tencent and other big tech companies, they use our data sets. And I'm wondering, like, I have been wondering why are these companies like using our data set? Google Brain trained their AI models on our data to generate beautiful images from text. Why? Because if you want to use the in-house Google data sets, you have to go through clearance processes, like for permissions to get actually to all the Google data. And with LAION, you can just download it. So this is LAION 400M. And it was the first data set we created. like it was initially released, like, so this is not right, 9th of September, like, because we updated the website. But this was updated last in December 2021. And it consisted of 413 million image text pairs. So images with text together. And yeah, I'll go back a little bit. So let's go there. Let's go there. Here we have a beautiful example of the French cat. So here actually is our web demo. We have something like the Google image search, where you can search for whatever like text you have in more than 5 billion image text pairs. And here if you search there for French cat, then you get like these results that you're seeing here. And yeah, so we have like a multilingual part with more than 2 billion image text pairs in different languages, more than 100 languages. And we have 2.3 billion image text pairs in English. And yeah, and we have a little bit more than 1 billion with like that don't contain a language, but more like something like names and brands and whatever. But like, so how did we came here? How did a little tiny non-profit organization with random people from Discord come to release like really web scale, large scale data sets? And I think this is the most inspiring part about like LAION and the talk like that I'm giving here. So I have to tell a little bit more about myself. I'm Christoph Schumann, and my profession, so my day job, is being a high school teacher. I'm a physics computer science teacher in Germany, and I have a strong passion for machine learning and artificial intelligence. I already had when I was 12 years old, because like I was watching Star Trek: The Next Generation, and I had this dream of building an android like Commander Data. But the time wasn't there. Like I learned a little bit about AI and programming and this stuff, but like all my teachers and so they didn't take it seriously. So yeah, after some time later, I studied psychology, and I actually before this I studied acting. But then I was thinking, okay, I don't want to be a therapist or like a psychology researcher. So what could I do? I want to provide for a family. Acting is not so stable. So yeah, I thought maybe teaching. And I thought about what could I teach? Computer science and physics, because I loved computer science and physics when I was a teenager. And so I decided to study physics and computer science for a teacher's degree. And when I was done with studying and I worked for a few years, I actually began to realize at some point that, wow, like this deep learning actually begins to work with stuff that didn't work like 5 or 10 years before. And this realization was 2016. And I began to read many papers, to read blog posts and whatever. And then, yeah, like I just like followed it. Like it just was my passion, my free time every day, like 20, 30 minutes. I read something, did some online courses, and began to play around with Python, with Colab. And a little bit more than 1 year ago, like it had been like in February or like March 2021, I was on the Eleuther AI Discord server. Eleuther is another like grassroots AI server movement group, and they are specialized on GPT like language models, so like AIs that can generate text. And I was there and I was thinking, this DALL-E 1 that came out, this is text to image generator. It's so cute. Like, how could we reproduce this? And DALL-E 1 was trained on 250 million image text pairs. And like this first flip model also came out that you can use to analyze what is actually like semantically in an image. Like if you have a text for an image, a description and an image, you can check like how well do they fit together, like not perfect, but like kind of okay-ish. And so, I was just talking to others like, hey, why don't we go to Common Crawl? Common Crawl is an internet archive of basically a dump of all kinds of websites, like all kinds of websites from the last 10 years. And there's only the HTML, a little bit filtered, and you can go there and just download it from from the Common Crawl organization. It's a nonprofit in Seattle. And so, I just built a small Colab, like just a little notebook with a simple, tiny GPU that I got donated from Google with a Google Colab service. And I built my own filtering script, download a part of it, like 1 gigabyte of HTML, filter it for all the image tags that also have like an alternative text, like a text that describes what should be on the image. And most of the times it's garbage. So I took the recently available first basic clip model and wrote a script to filter it. Then after a few days, I had several Colab notebooks running there, and I was on this Discord server there, and others came, hey, this is so cool, maybe I can help you. And the first who joined me, Theo Combs, he's now 16. At the time, I think he was 15, but I didn't know. I thought he was a master's student or whatever. He helped me to write a server that could tell many small computers or many small worker scripts which part of Common Crawl to filter. And so the guy that I thought was a master student, who actually was a 15 years old high school student from England, he wrote this script that coordinated all my small workers. And after a few days or weeks, maybe 2 weeks, I had 3 million filtered image text pairs. And 3 million was the size of conceptual captions. And conceptual captions is a similar data set that had been released a few years earlier from Google Research. And I thought, wow, I can do something at scale of what is available from Google Research. This is so cool. And I had no money, no investment, just publicly free available cloud resources. And then more and more people joined and said, yeah, I have here my GPU in my bedroom, and I have 30, 40 small virtual machines with 2 gigabytes RAM and 1 CPU from my work. You can just use them. And I did. Others came in, Richard Venku. Richard, he's also now chairman of LAION, and he optimized the code a lot. And then Romain came in, and many, many more people. And after a few months, we had 413 million image text pairs, and we released it. And we had absolutely no budget. It was just like hobbyists. And this was at the scale of what had been used for DALL-E and for the original clip from OpenAI. And 50 minutes after we released it, I got an email from Thomas Wolfe, from one of the co-founders and the chief scientist of Hugging Face, a relatively well-known machine learning company. And they said, yeah, it's so cool what you've done, let's talk. And we talked a little bit, and after a few Zoom calls, he told me that they liked us so much, they would give us a little bit money to fund a bigger crawling effort. And we got a few other donations, not much, but a few $1,000s. And this helped us to build a 5.8 billion image text pair data set. And this was really a lot, because to get 5 or 6 billion image text pairs, you have to filter 10x, so 50 or 60 million, a billion image text pairs, and you keep only 10%. And while we were doing this, we got connected to Stability AI, that was still in its infancy, where the founder, Imagen, the CEO, told me on Discord server one day, he came there and told me, yeah, I have this company, Stability AI, and I want to give GPUs to open source researchers like you, and I will empower them to build cool image generation models and like all kinds of machine learning models under one condition, that it's open. And I was wondering, hey, why does he want to give like away compute, very expensive compute for open source research? And he told me, look, like there are companies like OpenAI and DeepMind, and they release some parts of their AI, but not everything. But there are many, many people out there, like companies and like just rich people and whoever, and they think this is not so cool because like if the small companies or the mid-sized companies want to use it, or if the researchers want to use it, then they would have to build huge organizations, gather money, and or build their own machine learning departments. And this is like really complicated and expensive. So like it's much better for like mid-scale companies to just give away some money for, like in this case, stability AI, or like organizations like LAION or whatever, and empower like these companies to make sure that the models that the public needs will be open sourced. And actually, I think it's not really only about money. It's also about like the idea of like having like an entity that gives away, like that makes large scale AI accessible. Because like if at some point there will be the metaverse, like in Ready Player One, for example, do we really want that it will be proprietary owned only by one or two companies, like maybe Meta or maybe like only Microsoft or OpenAI? No. And like basically this was a narrative that Imad told me, and I thought, yeah, that I mean, it's fair if there are some rich people and like rich or well-funded organizations, they will have like an interest to gather resources for like the greater good, or for like just getting to state-of-the-art models without having to maintain their own departments. So yeah, he grew this and he got like more GPUs, and he helped us with giving us some GPUs to filter the 5 billion image text pairs, like the 50 billion in the end, that we had to filter down to 5.8. And we kept like building this data set. We have like on our Discord server many other like projects going on, like people working on a replication of DALL-E 2 from OpenAI, also a cute image text to image generator. And we, the core group, like the people who registered this LAION as a small nonprofit entity, we decided to focus on Clip, because like Clip cannot directly generate cute images, but you can use it to build better, bigger data sets. You can use it for so much other stuff like that is not right obvious. And I'll show you like another project that Romain and me like had been building. So this is like the third one here in this, it's LAION Aesthetics. So we knew from some previous research that you could build a really nice aesthetics classifier from just taking like an image, feeding it through Clip. Then you get the embedding, like this list of like 512 or whatever numbers that represent somehow in a mathematical language, like the content, what this image is about. And then you have like this embedding, and you feed this into a small neural network, like a small linear classifier, or just like a few layer perceptron or whatever, and make it predict on a 1 to 10 like scale, for example, the average rating like that a human would give this image. Like if you ask a human, how beautiful do you think is this image, on a 1 to 10 scale, like you can predict this like with just one value, like just inputting the Clip embedding. Of course, you need to train it a little bit. Like you don't need one value, like you would like need a few thousand, or better more like training pairs of image and rating. But actually there are some cool data sets, like AVA is a data set, like it's about aesthetics evaluation. It's 10 years old, but There you have a few 100,000 images, like from a photo site, together with ratings on a scale from 1 to 10. And we also had like a Discord bot where people could generate images with, not with DALL-E and not with Stable Diffusion, but like with other image to text generators that like were not so cute, but like were kind of okay, like Latent Diffusion, what was a previous model from the makers of the Stable Diffusion. And so we had a few thousand annotations for generated images, for generated art, on a scale from 1 to 10. And Romain tried this, and he built like the first version of like LAION aesthetics. And yeah, it was like trained on 5,000 image text pair ratings, the initial one, from this data set here, SAC. And like here you see like these images that you see here are like filtered out from 2.3 billion image text pairs, so that you would only keep I think like the cutest 120 million. So like this is from the 120 million subset, and you see like all the garbage that you find in the internet, something like bad resolution logos, PowerPoint slides, and like ads or stuff where you just have some annoying text that you don't want. It's gone, it's out. And what is left are pretty nice photos. Like, I mean, there is the taste is subjective, but I mean, these images they are already pretty nice. And Romain did this, and so 120 million, it's a lot, but I thought we could use more. So I like gathered more data, like from different sources. Like I asked some students to annotate like logos, and we got like from the SAC dataset that had been growing, like we got 238,000 ratings later. And yeah, so like I gathered more data, and I tried to train different models, and then I built different subsets. Like, so the biggest one in this case here is the 1.2 billion image text pair data set. It's a 4.5 and higher. That's like all images with a rating, with a predicted rating of 1.5 or higher. Oh, it doesn't like it. But in the end, like it left me with a lot of pretty pictures. What you're seeing here is like from the 6+ data set. I'm pretty confident. Yeah, so like these are the best top 12 million images. If you ask this aesthetics predict, the LAION aesthetics, the version 2 predictor model, can you please rate 2.3 billion images from the English subset and rank them, and show me some images from the cutest, from the prettiest 12 million in your opinion. Then you get images like these, and like, I mean, these are pretty images, right? And this is so cool. So like I had this way to automatically get millions of really pretty like artworks, photos, and so. And yeah, so I kept working on this. And in the end, I provided the 5+ subset. So what is here like? No, this is 6+. This subset here, I provided this subset to the authors of Stable Diffusion, because I knew that they were training like a Stable Diffusion like model. And yeah, they trained it on it, and yeah, in the end, like we got Stable Diffusion, which is a pretty good image to text to image model. It's maybe not as good as DALL-E 2, which is proprietary by a $2 billion company, but like, I mean, Stable Diffusion runs on a home GPU. It only needs like 6 GB, or like they quantized it, they shrank it down. Like you can run on a 5 GB VRAM GPU card at home, and it's not far away from DALL-E 2. Like in some domains, it's even better at like at some kinds of like paintings and faint faces, like cartoon faces, oil paintings. It's actually a little bit better, but this is amazing. And from what I have heard, like companies like Stability will like in the future train more better image to text models, and in the future probably also audio to text models, like text to audio models. Like you write what kind of song you want and it outputs the song. At first, like they will have to work a little bit on producing really good vocals so that the vocals actually will sound like a human that is singing some meaningful text. But I'm pretty confident that they will figure it out, because if you can generate a cute image, you can also like take like a waveform, like a music, like an MP3 or so, and represent it in some kind of like image-like structure, and you feed it into similar models, similar to Stable Diffusion and DALL-E. So I think we're really here like in the midst of a revolution, and it's not like that Stability or Stable Diffusion, like they are not the inventors of this technology. This technology had been invented previously by OpenAI and like Google and Microsoft, but Stability is like the first company to take like our data sets and what built upon what we had like prepared for the community, and they now make it available. So like from my perspective, this is really amazing. But from our side as LAION, it's also really super amazing, like how many people are on our community and our server. So like we actually like we don't pay anyone from LAION for doing anything. And we have like people who work at Google and YouTube and Facebook, like as really highly paid machine learning engineers. And we have like high school students who are just really smart for their age, and all working together on like these projects. And actually, like some of these people hanging out on our servers got jobs just by working on projects and then talking to other people who also hang out on our server, and then they got jobs. So this is definitely something that can quickly happen if you're active and kind of competent. So some people ask me, why are you still working as a high school teacher? So like the first reason, because I like being a high school teacher. And the second reason, I have tenure, and here in Germany, like people can get, like teachers can get tenure for their positions. So it's not as well paid as a professor, but it's not so far away. And I have basically a lifetime guarantee. So I have a job that I like, and I have a pretty nice payment, like here, salary. So I had no reason so far to quit it, and I actually enjoy doing this as a non-profit. But I'm in touch with several CEOs from like tech companies like Hugging Face, Stability, and others, and I'm coordinating many projects. And I can really, everyone who is interested in contributing to the future of machine learning, just invite to our server. So like if you see this here, like there's a Discord symbol. I cannot really enlarge it. I don't know how to zoom in, but maybe I can somehow like make some annotations. Oh, there's yeah, text at the marker. Is this a marker? Yeah, here. If you see this here, the Discord symbol, the one in the middle, go just go here and install the Discord app if you don't have it, and click on this symbol. Then you can go to our server, and yeah, then just introduce yourself. So like my personal handle is like Spirit from Germany. Oh my God! Like you will find me when you're on the Discord server, and then if you have any questions, just post it in general. Feel free to just like PM me or whatever. And this is really amazing, because like you don't have to join our project. If you have your own project, if you say yourself, okay, I want to train the next big cool text to image model, or the next big cool text to audio model, or if I just want to invest in, like I have my own idea, like in the computer vision space or in the natural language processing space or whatever, just come to our server, talk to others, talk to me, talk to other people like who are active there. And if it's really good, we can connect you to Stability. And we have also like applied several times, like 2 times now, for compute on Europe's biggest publicly available supercomputer, which is called Juvels. And like, so one grant we already get for training clip models. So we had like 300,000 A100 hours there, and had been replicating the clip B from OpenAI and the clip L that they had like made public. Like at first, the first that we started with was the B32. This is like a tiny clip model. It's already pretty good, but it's relatively tiny. And later they released the L14, and we replicated this also. And they didn't release the H and the G, and we are now we don't know if they ever tried to train a G, but they have an H and they didn't release the H. But we are now like almost done with replicating the H, and we also like built a G model, and we will release it. So when you're watching this, you can just go to our LAION website and find our clip models there. And yeah, like, so we basically try to do what like some big tech companies had been promising, that they will open up artificial intelligence. And some, like, I mean, like companies like DeepMind and OpenAI did amazing work, and they shared amazing papers, and they really inspired the whole world with like GPT-3, GPT-2, and others like the Flamingo model and the Atari like Atari playing reinforcement learning and AlphaZero. This was like a really big inspiration for many, many researchers and software developers. But they developed this habit of not releasing openly the source code and the models. And at this point, we want to enrich the community by having like a grassroots community where everyone can just enter like the Discord server and contribute, and all results that we can release legally, we release. And this is almost everything. Of course, we don't release, for example, in the big LAION datasets, we don't release the original images. We release lists of like URLs that lead to the images. And we have provided like a tool, like Image to Dataset, it's a tool. You can use this to download all the images from the provided URLs, but we cannot put the actual images up online because we don't have the copyright. But if you're a researcher, it is very likely that in your land, you have to check, but probably in your country, you will have like some laws that will allow researchers to download images from the public internet, from publicly available URLs. And so you can just download it, train your model, and then delete it. So this is completely legal in most countries, as far as I know. And yeah, so like we are looking for like places in the whole machine learning world where we can make a difference by just being like a random heap of inspired people with a huge passion for machine learning and AI and whatever. And me personally, I mean, in the meanwhile, I learned a lot about machine learning, and I actually learned a lot about like Python programming, but I'm far from being like a professional software developer. And I'm far from being like a really like super competent machine learning engineer. But what I can understand what like these models are about, and I can understand the code if I really look at them, and I can really like connect people. So this is what I'm doing. And there are other people like high school students and like computer science students or whatever. They help us to download data sets, prepare some data like for other projects. So we have now, like, for example, from students from a Canadian university in Montreal, like from the Mila Institute, MILA, Mila, where Joshua Bengio and some others are like professors. We have there some students from there who are working on an audio clip, audio text. So that, for example, if you have like an audio file and a text file, like you can merge them together and like get like a clip embedding and like an audio embedding and text embedding. And you can check how well audio files fit to certain textual descriptions. And you can also use this like for later to classify several like attributes of the of the audio just by like training a small linear layer on the top and all such stuff. So yeah, I could talk a long time. We had like the high school student Theo Combs like actually used like a small audio clip together with like a small GPT to do audio captioning. So you get like a sound effect and it generates the text, what you can hear in this audio file, and it worked. And like a high school student did this, like a very, very bright high school student. But like, so if you want to somehow make a difference in the world by contributing to AI and machine learning, then just don't hesitate. Whether you're a high school student or a computer science student or an experienced machine learning engineer or a professor or whoever, like just like a trucker who's interested in becoming a software developer. I don't know. Like if you have like some interest in contributing and learning, then come to our server. I can't repeat this often enough. Like just go here and talk to us and read what we have to say and let us know what you have to say. And yeah, let's make sure that in the future, when like AI and machine learning will be even much more important, that like everyone will have access to it, like the small businesses, the researchers, the high school kids, like and the big tech companies, and that everyone can profit and benefit from it and learn from it, and not only Microsoft and Meta and maybe a few like big companies and billionaires. So like I think like if we empower the world, like the broad audience, the general public, to like be a part of this AI future, then we increase the chance that the majority of actors will be actually pretty decent people, because like the majority of the public is at least pretty decent. Not everyone is super nice. Not everyone is a Mother Teresa, but like if you look at the most home PCs are not like virus spreading like hacker machines. Most are just decent like PCs or decent devices that have some antivirus on it and that do playing games, do some work, whatever. And if we can democratize AI so that most AIs of the future will have something like an antivirus program on it and will do some decent stuff, and most of the people will be interested in like running decent applications and decent stuff on it and contribute to it, then the chances for a better future with machine learning and artificial intelligence will be much higher. So yeah, just my opinion. If you like want to add something, if you want to discuss with us, come to our server, and I hope this talk was interesting for you and fun for you. It was like a pleasure for me to talk to you and to present our organization. And yeah, I wish if you now feel the same passion that I'm feeling right now, that you will follow this passion and suck all the interesting stuff that you find out there into your heart and unfold it in some way. Because like the more curiosity and passion you have, the higher the likelihood there is that something good will come out if you let it just flow into your work and your hobby and whatever you're doing.